everyone. I'm your host, Amy Rickabus, author of The Manager, Unveiling the Invisible Work and Sparking a Leadership Revolution, hitting Amazon May 1st, 2025. I'm the CEO of Tomahawk Information Solutions, an awesome IT crew pulling in 8 figures, and a serial entrepreneur since I was 22. Think real estate flips, prenatal protein powder, and film production. I'm a mom of 6, and this is the Manager Podcast, where we're digging into unseen hustle and sparking some serious leadership vibes. I'm stoked to kick it off with Vanessa Morgan, an accomplished marriage and family therapist and my wonderful friend and neighbor. Vanessa brings deep expertise to her practice, guiding couples through the ups and downs of their relationships, all the while managing a bustling blended family. We bonded over lunch with our neighbor Chrissy, another therapist, diving into lively chats about love and life and the quirks of men and women. Vanessa's got a quiet grace, striking beauty, and I'm calling it a book waiting to be written. With chapter 1 of The Manager in hand, Vanessa, tell me, okay, we've read chapter 1, and I talk about the invisible labor. What do you find is your most burdensome, invisible labor that you have to carry in your house?
I think the one for me that I find, most burdensome, just because the most important to me, is kind of the emotional labor of trying to think about everyone, especially because I have a blended family, right? So all of the children, my husband, all the different dynamics, I'm trying to help coach these kids about how to advocate for their needs, how to do it in a way that's relational, thinking about, try to mentalize like how my state is impacting their state. There is so much emotional labor that goes into running a household, and it's obviously unseen because it has to do with emotions. And so I think for me, that's the one that's both nearest and dearest to my heart, and the one that I find most challenging and important because there's so many layers and dynamics to it.
Yeah, totally. It's like, I never really thought about it, but you're right. Mom's the one who's teaching the kids how to say I'm frustrated. I'm feeling sad. I'm tired. I'm hungry. How to communicate your needs with people efficiently. We do carry a burden of not just kind of figuring out how our kids are feeling, but also helping them to communicate those feelings, with the outside world, how teaching them how to, know what they're feeling.
Yes. Know what they're feeling, ask for it, advocate for it, sit with it. There's so many things that we do as moms that are just kind of intuitive.
Totally.
That I don't even think get the airtime that they deserve, that we are doing all the time behind the scenes. Even in the middle of the night, I wake up thinking, oh, I wonder how that was for them, or if I need to do this, or did I sign up for the thing so they don't feel this way? So yes, a never-ending job.
Totally. It really is. I want to talk a little bit about our patriarchal vibes. I feel like, we all kind of feel that rub at some point in our lives, whether it's with, working with the people that we work with in business, with our, with your clients. Where do you get that patriarchal rub, that wound of that patriarchal wound? Where do you feel that?
I think for me, it's been such a process of awakening that it's almost like the air that we breathe, the water that we swim in, it's so deeply ingrained in us as women to have some, there's so many women that I've seen that have so much unexamined internalized misogyny, right? Where they really don't even know that they're living in this strict idea of who they need to be lovable, acceptable, valued in society. And so I almost want to say there's no facet of life that I think it hasn't touched, and that I'm constantly trying to unpack with intentionality how I show up as a woman and how I value myself as a woman.
Yeah.
And that's been a really long process.
Right.
I'm still making meaning of every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that we've really overlooked the wound, as far as conversationally, I think that we've really overlooked the wound in our society, that we want to just move forward and be strong women. But I think we've overlooked the fact that, women have lived under a patriarchy for 2,000 years, and we're severely prosecuted to the point of being burned at the stake for being a midwife.
Yeah.
And it's because of that social conditioning, for thousands of years of social conditioning where women were less than men, we had less rights. We were considered chattel. I mean, we just got the right to vote in this country 100 years ago. And as we're making this progress, I think that part of it is, having these kinds of conversations where we're acknowledging the fact that this wound is still there and that we're still healing this wound, and that, there's still some real subconscious things that are happening in the minds of women that are, an untruth a real untruth, I was thinking of, there was a tiger that was left in a 10 by 10 cage, and he walked it for 10 years. He walked the edges of his cage, and they take him out of his cage, and he still walks in that 10 by 10, the square shape, and I feel like in some ways women have been set free in this country, but we still are walking in that invisible cage.
Yes, I think two things. One, there is a learned helplessness that if we have been so conditioned, we don't see the bigger world out there. We don't see that we can step outside of that 10 by 10 box.
Yes.
Right. So really starting to make that learned helplessness more of a conscious process in our life. And then the other piece is that like when trauma is still going on, it's impossible to heal from it. We can't push it away and just pretend it's not there. We have to give a kind of coherent narrative to the pain that we've experienced or that we continue to experience in order to kind of separate from that trauma and begin the healing process. Because if we're still making ourselves small, not advocating for what it is that we need, we're still kind of largely basing our relating on fear-based principles. I have to be a certain kind of way to be lovable or acceptable or connected to you even.
Yeah.
Then there is no real relating. There is no authenticity. There is no intimacy in relationships unless we can begin to like really give narrative to our suffering.
You're so right. Yeah, you're so right. And you're right. You can't heal from something when you're in it.
No.
Yeah. Like you really have to almost like step out of it in order to begin healing it. And in the Native American tradition, we say you name the wound.
Yeah.
And you first you have to name the wound and you have to honor the wound and then you can heal the wound.
Yes.
And it's like, for me, I think that process needs to begin in women, and we need to like name that wound and we need to honor it and know that like all the things that we went through actually made us way stronger, and all of those gifts and that evolution that has come along with all of that has actually like, there are superpowers now, like this massive ability to be organizational and managerial, the way that we manage our homes and our families, those are all amazing superpowers that we've picked up along the way. And, that was partly created by the wound itself, and so it's like, okay, if we can just name it, honor it, and let's move on, let's heal this as a collective. I'd love to heal this wound for women on this planet. I feel like that once we can heal, women can actually reach their full potential.
Yes, I think there's something so beautiful about not being afraid of our shadow or being afraid of the pain that we've suffered and being able to talk about it and share our experience with other people. I think that is healing. Yeah,
1,000%. Totally. So this is more like techie, but okay. So there are so many new apps. I mean, since COVID, I feel like smartphones are like a whole nother animal now. And it's a new app, like, I probably get a new app like almost once a month. But like managing your house, what are like a couple of apps that you use that are like lifesavers for you?
I mean, the main one that I use every day for almost every facet of my life, from work to planning to meal prep, is ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. I will like talk to it about, hey, what should I do about this? Or, and even if it doesn't give me all the answers, even just having kind of a place that organizes my thinking or reflects it back to me, I think it's like a very helpful tool to have as a mom, woman, someone that runs the household. Yeah. It's such I love that. I love Life 360 because I like to know where all my people are.
Oh, Life 360 is a game changer, especially with teenagers. It's like the best thing ever invented. And I was so resistant for so long. And now we're on it, and it's like totally changed my game, because now I can just go, oh, hey, where's Julian? Where's Gabriel? Okay, they're fine. Yeah. And it gives me such peace of mind just knowing that, that I know where they are. Yes. At all times. Yes. Yeah. If I want to know, I don't have to call them and like hope they answer the phone. It's just boop. Look them up and see right where they are. And you feel like, as a mom, a big part of our brain's actually dedicated to kid GPS. Yes. And so I feel like this Life 360 is such an extension of that female brain in some ways. Yes, I agree. So, I like it. Yeah, totally. And so how are you using ChatGPT for like meal tracking? And like, I'm curious about this.
So I will just speak into it. Here's what I had to eat today from this restaurant. How many calories is it? How many grams of protein it has? have I gotten today? How many more do I need? What are some ideas about how I could get that?
Wow.
It just helps.
I didn't even know it
think.
could do that. I love that. That's such a creative way to use it. Yeah. To make sure you get your macros.
Yeah.
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 That's
protein.
Really, yeah.
I need my protein.
You got to get your protein. I love that. And then, so I'm just curious. This is just spitballing this one, but tell me like on like a daily basis, like what are you aiming for as far as like grams of protein and like your new, like from a nutrition standpoint, like what are your nutrition goals? Like as far as your vitamins and your protein, what are you looking for?
I really have felt such a difference when I do incorporate the supplements that I take. Like I feel like I've gotten it down. It's been so much trial and error.
Yeah.
For me, iodine has really changed the way that I feel in my body, my energy levels. That's only been in the last year or two.
Cool.
My magnesium. I love my magnesium for sleep.
Too.
My B vitamins. So like my supplements and then protein. I really try to front load my day with a lot of protein. Start off with a protein shake.
How big? How many grams do you go
20
for
grams
breakfast?
in the morning, 25 grams in the morning.
Nice.
And then pretty much like every meal period, I'm at least trying to get 25 grams. So a little bit over 100 every day.
I love that.
Because I wasn't doing that and I could just feel my muscles kind of atrophying.
Yeah, totally.
And I was having to work so much harder to maintain the muscle that was so easy to do in my youth.
Oh, yeah.
And so that has been like, as I get older, something that's been very valuable to me.
Totally. Yeah. I've always been a big protein girl, but I love, I
my
love
brain
my
just needs it. I need it to think.
I need it to think. Yeah. And I do the collagen protein now, and the byproduct of collagen protein is like hair.
Yes. Hair and nails. Yes.
Okay. Works for me. And then, we've talked about this. You have a book brewing in you. I know you do, but like, tell me a little bit about what you're thinking. What do you think your book will be about?
So I've learned as a couples therapist, I've been doing this for like 15 years, really intently studying couples and relationships for the last decade.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what I've learned in my own relationships, because that's had its own story arc to its own. It has its own life of its own. And then what I've learned from seeing and working with other couples. And so I want to teach what I've learned about the skills that you really need: empathy, self-reflection, how to slow things down, curiosity, compassion, how to create a shared vision with someone. What kind of life do we want to have? How do we need to have each other's backs in this world so that we can co-create something? Yeah. So I'm really passionate, and not just like romantic relationships, but like the sisterhood relationships.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, I think, relationships that people actually need to feel like a fully functioning human.
You're so right.
So I want to teach people about, I think kind of that is my life's work, is to teach people how to have the skills that they need to be successful in relationships, because it's the number one thing actually linked to our happiness and longevity is the quality of the relationships that you have in your life.
Totally. We kind of have such a monetarily based society that we forget that, our happiness actually doesn't come from money. Like statistically speaking, the more money you have, it's not the happier you are. It's the better quality of relationships you have.
Right. Like when our nervous systems were still developing, when we were 1 to 5 years old, we didn't know about money. We didn't understand the construct of money. And our happiness was just based on the quality of the connections around us. And I think if we return to that as a society, even, we're going to have so much more value in our lives.
Oh, like 1,000%. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love that. I really do. I see that in you. And I saw that right away when you're like the new neighbor and you're like, hey, let's go get lunch, and we've kind of started our little lunch club. And it was, you really want to make real connections with the people that you're interfacing with. And I think that that's just admirable, actually, in our society today, because it's not something that people are prioritizing.
We
in
don't
general.
even know we need it. We don't even know how much we need it. Just to have someone down the street that you like admire and you can count on and you can, be inspired by them when you talk to them. Like that to me, that's life.
Yeah, no, you're so right. Yeah, no, it is really, it is really what fills us up. Like it fills up your little heart cup. Yeah, it does. Just to know that you're surrounded by people that you really know. Otherwise, you're living in a neighborhood or you're living in a world with a bunch of strangers. Yeah. And that's a lonely place to be, because this is it's a really crowded world. And if you don't really know anybody, you can really feel even more isolated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can be around people and feel so lonely if you don't have the skills to connect with them.
1,000%. Yeah. And I feel like we're definitely living in that kind of world right now.
Yes.
where people are really
Yes.
lacking those skills.
Yeah.
To
I
connect.
really worry that like one potential outcome of humanity is that there is this population collapse because we don't have what we need to be relational. And if we stay in this like power over model where there's this all this oppression and we're not in a relational model where we're working together.
Yes.
I worry about the outcome of that. We're all just going to have like boyfriend, girlfriend, AI bots.
Right. Totally.
and not be procreating. And like, that's, I don't want to like put that out there and get too doom and gloom. But I do want to stress the importance of, I think we should really take these skills serious.
No, I think you're 1,000% right. Yeah. I think we've really undervalued the ability just to connect with each other. And there's so many distractions now. Yeah. It's so easy to tune out. It's so easy to avoid connecting with people. We can just pretend like we're connecting with people. We can go on social media and scroll around and look at what other people are doing and feel like we're connected to other people, but we're not.
Yeah. We get some of the same dopamine hits and some of the same oxytocin hits, but it's cheap.
Yes.
It's cheap. It's not lasting.
Right. Totally. And as the world progresses towards this virtual space, these kinds of skills are going to be extremely valuable for people. And it's really going to be what will hopefully end up helping us to create a cooperative, relational future for humanity where we are actually connected to one another and we're actually in relationships with each other and we're actually truly happy as a species.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Instead of like, oh, if I just get that Ferrari, I'll be happy.
Yes. Well, it's not fear-based.
Right.
Like so many of these things, if I have this external thing, then I'm going to feel different than I feel. And I'm afraid of how I'm feeling right now. Right. But if we're connected with other people, it's not a fear-based way of living in the world.
Yes. I love that. Yeah. Because a lot of it's overcoming all of the commercials and all of the advertising that's coming at us. That's playing on our fear and trying to sell us something. Yeah. And so we're being used. We're being used by, all of these social media platforms in their working on our fear and basically making us even more disconnected by taking away that time that we would be spending with actual people. Yeah. And so it's widening that gap.
I think it's an unwise use of our collective energy.
1,000%. Yes. We could do better.
Yes.
Yes. We will do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. What's next for you? Like, what's your next big move? Like, what are you focused on right now?
I feel like this phase of my life really is about balance, that I do have preteens, teens at home, and I really want to usher them into adulthood in a way that I feel like I gave it everything. Yeah. I want to give them my A+ mom effort. So that's my biggest priority still right now. But I can't give my full mom effort if I'm not tending to also the thing that makes me feel so full of passion and excitement, which is this mission that I have. I feel, that I have to kind of spread these ideas about relating. So I want to I don't know if I'm going to write a program or a book. I don't know if I'm going to use some technology. I don't really know. I'm still in the creative wondering phase.
Whatever you're going to do, we're going to be there with you. We want to know what you're doing. We want to be a part of it. So yeah, we're going to pre-order that book or that program. We're right there. The sisterhood's like right here. The Manage Her sisterhood is here for you. Aww. We want to see what's next. You have a wonderful gift to the world and we want to see you shine.
And that means so much to me. I think that like there is something so healing about that sisterhood.
Yeah.
Really being invited into greatness by another woman is such a treasure. It's something that like there's space for you. We don't have to compete. Yeah. Come here. I see you. I see the greatness in you. I'm inspired by you. Like that is such healing for the feminine collective.
Oh, 1,000%. And it's so true. I feel like empowered women empower women. And it's like, if I can help one woman rise and she can help one woman rise and we can all just, rise up and rise into our power as women and give our gifts to the world because we really have important messages. Like, God works through us in different ways and we have such important work to do here. Yeah. I know we all really do.
Yeah.
And, next question. What's your secret weapon? Like in your house?
My secret weapon. I feel like a broken record today about really pumping up this idea of relationships. But I do think my secret weapon is learning to be kind of mindful, intentional in all the relationships that I have. Really see like, how can I be with this person in a way that creates something new between us in any given moment, right? What can we create together? How can I be with them to learn something new or see them in a different way or be seen by them in a different way? So I think my superpower is kind of like how I think about about the world. I try to think about things from many different angles, not just be stuck in this one kind of linear way of thinking about things, but put on a lot of different hats, look from a lot of different angles, and really open up this space of curiosity. Like that feels like a superpower to me.
It truly is a superpower, actually. And it's a really awesome perspective for women to have, because I feel like so many of us do it, but we don't even realize we're doing it, right? And it's also a skill that we really can work on. Once we're aware of it, it's like, oh, I'm good at that, but maybe I could be better.
Yeah, it's the intention of really, it's a mindfulness practice of, oh, I'm noticing this is my first impulse, my first thought, my first feeling, and then what comes next.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wondering that kind of invites more in.
Absolutely. And I just want to really thank you for your time today. It's been so awesome to talk with you and get your perspective on relationships and, you know, how we can make the world a better place. I think that you have such a beautiful vision for the world.
Oh, well, thank you, Amy. It's been such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited and energized and rejuvenated by the work that you're doing. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that we had this time to talk with each other and, you know, do this work, because it's work. It really is.
It is work. It is work.
It's important work. It's fun.
Yes.
But sometimes work doesn't always have to be hard.
Yes. And many hands make like work.
Exactly.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. It's like when you're following your passion, it doesn't feel like work, right?
Yes.
And it's like we can all change the world by just giving our little gifts.
Yes. And sharing it with our sisters, seeing other sisters that are doing similar work. It's like fuel. It's so exciting.
Totally. Well, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you. Hope to have you back soon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Living in the moment.